Hello and welcome to This Week in Shrinkflation. It is January 10th, 2025. A little late at night trying to squeeze this out, so let's see what companies have been shrinking their products over the last week, along with some inshitification and things like that. But yeah, let's hold these companies to account. That's the whole reason we want to do this. Starting with a bone to pick personally that I have with World's Finest Chocolate, which is, if you don't know, I think most people in the US probably do know because when I was a kid in the 90s, I sold these at school, and they still sell these at school because my niece got some last year. But they are so 100% different from what they used to be as a kid that I can't even recommend them anymore. And it's sad because when I was a kid, I actually really liked these chocolates, and I would beg my mom to buy, like, I would sell them, and then I'd be like, "Mom, could you buy some for me because I want some?" My parents would buy them because they were good chocolate. Like, even back in the day, these were easy things to sell door to door, which is funny. It's like nobody would go door to door in the year 2025, or would let their kids go door to door. But in the 90s, I went door to door selling these freaking candy bars for $1. And this was, the 90s. Everybody had cash, and people didn't mind when kids rang their doorbell to sell them chocolate. So yeah, I would sell these things. Everybody liked them. They were much bigger than they are now, and they tasted great. I liked the crisp one. I liked the almond one. Blah blah blah. They're terrible now, and this person is saying they want $3 per bar now, which is ridiculous. Um, and on top of that, uh, as this person says, they're actually a for-profit company. So when you're doing these fundraising initiatives for a school or whatever, not it's not like 100% of the money is going to the school, or even 90% is going to the school. I don't know what the actual difference is, or how it works. But the company is definitely getting their profit before any kids are seeing any money for education, so to speak. So yeah, it is just a genuine scam, alleged scam, and I would suggest never buying these chocolates again. And if there's some kind of fundraising activity that your kid is doing or whatever, I would not fuck around with it. Um, like almost all fundraising things, I would just say if you want to fundraise for your school, just give them money, or ask for donations, or find something else, because this is not the way to do it. It's just exploitative on all ends. It makes everybody feel bad at the end of the day. You got the person who paid $3 for a chocolate bar that sucks. You got the school who's getting, I don't know how much of that money. How much of the $3 are they getting? Who knows? Not enough. And then yeah, nobody wins. Except the company, World's Finest Chocolate. I guess they win. So yeah, stop buying those. Let's move on to the next one. This is an interesting story. I don't want to get too deep into because I'm not an expert. This person bought two large cast iron Dutch ovens, basically, uh, over the years, and they have pictures. And this old one right here, they weigh out to be 14 pounds. I think it's pounds. I'm not sure if it's actually pounds or what they're weighing it with. 14 pounds with the lid, and the new one is only 12.45 pounds with the lid. Bought 7 years apart on Amazon. Same product, 6 quart Dutch oven, basically, from Lodge. So it is, in fact, thinner, 12% thinner walls, over 50% price increase. Both those things are true, but I don't necessarily know if it's bad or not. See, the problem with pots and pans is you want a lighter pan for some things, but not for a Dutch oven, I don't think. I think it's definitely a move that's cutting costs for Lodge for sure. Cutting the weight, cutting the quality, the thickness of the walls. But I'm not sure, how it gets made up for with materials and things like that. Like, because you generally want, like, lighter pans can be higher quality, but I don't think Lodge is a brand that's of the quality where lighter is better. I think when you're talking about Lodge, which is, not an expensive brand, not the cheapest brand, but, a middle of the road brand, I'd say. Um, I don't know if this is just straight up shrinking or they also made an improvement with it to the materials or something like that. I don't know, but I wouldn't trust it. So essentially, just know that your pans are lighter. I'd like to know why. If Lodge wants to come out and say what's up, that'd be cool. Let's move on to this. Pantene, quickly, so I don't waste too much time. Pantene Collagen Repair and Protect. Yeah, if you're using this, it went down 50 milliliters because why not? They already know that you're using the product, and if they lower it, you'll still keep using it because it's the product that you buy. So they did. They lowered it 50 milliliters to say fuck you. Tropicana, we've been on them. I've been on them a little bit for their orange juice, but essentially all their juices they've shrunk from 52 to 46 ounces, which is really bad right off the bat. But the problem is not even that necessarily. That's already bad, but it's the bottle change that makes it so much worse because not only does a new bottle look uglier, it seems harder to pour, even though it's supposed to be easier to pour. That's like the entire point, they said, of the new bottle. I'm assuming they want you to put your whole hand around it instead of having the carafe at the top, but it's the carafe shape is made to pour. That's designed that way for thousands of years for a reason. It works. People like it, and this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And Tropicana, if you wanted to shrink your product, you should not have changed the bottle shape at the same time. You really done fucked up. Um, yeah, it's really bad. Don't buy. I don't know what alternative there is. I guess make your own juice. I don't know, but Tropicana, get fucked. Madava Organic Light Agave. Not something I use, but some people like to use alternative sweeteners, agave sweeteners, and all that good stuff. And this one was interesting because I had to look at this picture for a while, and I still can't really tell where they lost the weight. It must be thinner because it's 23.5 ounces to 17 ounces, which is a huge difference. 28% smaller packaging, 50 cents more, but they look identical from the front. It's a lot thinner. We grabbed it and put it in the cart, so I never felt it in the store. Would have gone back to the shelf if I'd known. Yeah, that is an insane reduction, insane sneaky reduction. Here's a Dear Shake and Bake letter, which I've talked about Shake and Bake in the past. They took out the bag from Shake and Bake, thus making the product no longer Shake and Bake. It is now just bake powder, bake coating, because there is nothing to shake with. You have to use your own bag, I guess, which completely ruins the point of the product. So, yes, Shake and Bake is pointless now. This one is incredibly interesting to me. I don't even know what brand this is. I'm sure somebody who buys cat treats might be able to point it out, but it went from 860 grams to 850 grams, which is still technically 30 ounces. So they're both still 30 ounces based on the conversion from grams to ounces. But you did technically lose 10 grams of cat treats, which I don't know how many treats that is, like two or three little squares, but you are losing some things here. It is a cut, even if it's like a 1% cut. It's worth pointing out. 2 for 2 at Trader Joe's salami. TJ is my girl. What the hell? I don't know. That's funny to me. But the point is, this is supposed to be 5.3 ounces, and we have one that's 4.7 ounces and one that's 4.9 ounces. Neither one coming close to 5.3 ounces. I think everybody would understand if they were above 5 ounces. If it was like 5.1, I think people would, go with that. Even I could go with that. But 4.7 and 4.9, those are very far off. This is something that should be examined. Like, I feel like there's definitely a lot of products like this that are measured out by weight that are not really the weight that they say they are, but not many people double check. It's only a couple people who are willing to put things on a scale and weigh them out and will have the examples to check against and things like that. So it's very kind of rare that we get a good example of this, and this is a straight up good example with two different unopened uncured salamis that are significantly underweight, and I mean significant. It's not like a tiny amount. Like I said, if it was 5.1 or 5.2, then I think people would understand that. But this is a huge difference, and you're not getting what you're paying. Trader Joe's, do better. Taquitos, This one is a personal one for me too. I used to be a taquito guy. I'm stuttering trying to say this. The last time I got taquitos was a few months ago, and they were so horrible. I still have half of the box in my freezer, and I never ate them because they were just so bad. They were, like this guy says, 45% greasy, flavorless tortilla on the ends, 55% filling in the middle. That is so accurate. This guy went to the effort to take the tortilla ends off so you can see how much actual filling you're getting, which is about half of a taquito, 55-45, and I think that's 100%. Frozen taquitos suck ass now. They're really not worth buying. Any brand finds. I guess we got to make our own taquitos now, which is not that hard to be fair. Like that's one that I would suggest that you do try if you like taquitos. But I would like my old frozen taquitos back because I am a lazy person and I like to just put some taquitos in the oven or the air fryer and have them, be good, be actual food, and not just dog shit slop. But can't have everything we want. Sam's Club, 38% price increase. This is an interesting one. Previously, you could buy a 5 pack of Old Spice Pure Sport High Endurance 3 ounces for $9.99 at BJ's Wholesale Club. So you get 5 pack of 3 ounces for $9.99. Then about a year ago, they shrank from 3 ounces to 2.4 ounces, but the price remained the same. So they shrinkflated it 20%. Now they're trying to come off as the hero, as he says. They've returned to 3 ounces, and they note this on the packaging. Except the price has increased from $9.99 to $13.79. So we have a new 5 pack, which says 25% bigger. 25% bigger is better, which is bigger compared to what they shrank it to last year. So they literally shrank it 1 year. Then the next year they made it the same size as it was, call it 25% bigger, and raise the price at the same time. So yeah, that's the way. This is a great example of shrinkflation in action. So good job, Old Spice, Pure Sport, whatever, Procter and Gamble, who owns literally everything. Good job. Thank you. Follow up. This is last week we talked about. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. Chocolate covered macadamia nuts, which are a nice treat. This guy bought them. 8 pack. It says 8 pack on the outer sleeve of the chocolate packs that he bought, but there was only 7 chocolates inside, because they had an outer sleeve essentially. Let me pull up his post real fast. They have an outer sleeve that said it was 8 pieces, but the inner sleeve showed that it was only 7 pieces. And you can obviously see it was 8 pieces. They just shrunk it to 7. And he actually got a response. And this is very interesting response. We recently did a product weight out and updated our piece count of our chocolates. Our packaging has updated, however, it seems the holiday sleeves were not. Our company takes a lot of pride in offering quality chocolate covered macadamia nuts. With the cost of chocolate and macadamia nuts increasing throughout the years, we had to make the difficult decision to change our packaging from 8 ounce to 7-piece 3.5 ounce. This change allowed us to maintain premium quality chocolate while continuing to provide the most value for our customers. And then, as he says, he got 300 fucking bullshit points, whatever the fuck that is, for calling this in. He bought 10 boxes of chocolates that were supposed to come with 8 that came with 7, which is just ridiculous. He should be getting, like, I wish I knew the law. I don't know the law, but I would love it if a lawyer came in like, hey, no, you literally sold 10 packages that said 8 and they have 7. You need to, compensate this person not with fucking points, but with the shit that you owe them. Either give them another box, like 2 boxes of chocolate to make up for the missing ones, or fucking refund them. It's very simple. The fact is, it's so funny that the company's customer service people, which obviously, if you've worked in any company, like not even a big company, but like even a smaller, medium-sized company, if you've worked customer service, you know that nothing is in your control and you don't give a shit. All this stuff does not matter to you. The person who wrote this probably doesn't fucking care. They looked this up this information, found it, put it in the thing, and did the standard offer of here's some points. Because it's not a big deal to them, but they really should keep an eye out for the kind of information that they put out. I guess, because it is a little blunt, and it happens sometimes with customer service interactions. This kind of thing, the customer service will come back and say very bluntly, "This is what's going on," because most likely there's somebody who's getting paid minimum wage to remotely respond to you, and they don't give a fuck about the company, and that's fine, and that's good for us actually because that's how we get this kind of amazing response. But that's what I'm assuming is going on here. I don't think anybody high up in the company saw this. It was probably somebody in the customer service department saw this, got the email, and was like, "Ah, whatever, fuck them. Here's 300 points." Blah blah blah, and that's it. That they probably get emails 10 times, 100 times a day, but you know they don't care. That's my general estimation, and why should they care? That's the way it is at these big companies when you're working in customer service. You're so separated from everything else, and you're so limited in what you can actually do that it doesn't even, your job is pointless essentially. So, understandable. Uh, this is sad to me because I actually love strawberry shortcakes. I used to buy these. This was my ice cream truck pick as a kid. Again, the ice cream truck used to go around chasing the ice cream truck. Those were good days. But they're fucking tiny now. This is a Bic lighter, and it's barely bigger than a Bic lighter, which is insane. They used to be, pretty decent size. This guy down here, I looked, they were originally 4 ounces. Now they're 2.5. That is a huge difference. And I love the taste of them. I love the artificial strawberry. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I do. I love the artificial strawberry like crumb coating that they put on them, which is also barely on them now. As you can see, even in this picture, it's not very nicely coated compared to the picture, and it's sad. So another classic item gone down the drain. New McValue menu is more expensive. I made a whole video about the McValue menu and how it's bullshit. But this guy's also letting you know in his region you used to be able to get 2 for $3, and now you can't. Now that it's buy one get one for $1, it's still more. Even for the cheapest thing, would be 309, which is crazy. And then we have this long post with a lot of information here. I might just link to this post specifically in the description, because there's a lot of good information here. But basically, fuck McDonald's. Pasta sauce, Classico pasta sauce has been posted in the Shrinkflation sub like every day for the last couple months. I generally avoid them because it's very hard to pin down when a tomato sauce is technically a different size, whether they shrunk it or it's a different size or it's a different product or they changed the label and stuff like that. It's very hard to track down. There's some people that post that aren't really Shrinkflation. You have to do kind of some research. But this one I do like because they chose to show the nutrition facts, which show that the ingredients have changed completely. I mean, not completely, but the order and the amount of ingredients have heavily changed along with this packaging design. This one is easy to follow. They're both the same name. It's the same product, just smaller, but also worse quality. The old one, we have tomato puree, tomatoes, tomato juice, water, roasted tomatoes, blah, 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 blah. New one, water, number one ingredient, followed by tomatoes, tomato paste, tomato. So that's telling you that the ingredients, the number one ingredient in this right sauce is water, whereas the number one ingredient in the left sauce is tomatoes, tomato puree, and tomato juice. Of course, some of that is being reconstituted. The reason that water's number one is because they're using tomato paste and things like that. And they can use different concentrations and all that good stuff. But the point is, the new sauce is more watery than the old sauce. It's thinner and it's less for more money. So great on Classico. We have the person who works at Dollar General or Family Dollar who's posting on here. Keep doing it. Thank you. Another straight up easy to follow Shrinkflation. This one is really bad. Price is going up $1 while it's shrinking 3 ounces at the same time. And this is on the cheap stuff. I mean, we're talking about Tresemme. It blows my mind that we're talking about Tresemme, a brand that when I was a kid I would buy. You'd buy for like $1 at the dollar store. You would buy a huge bottle of it. It's a cheap. It's a brand for poor people. It's a brand I bought. And you're pricing out even the lowest end customers of your product. I don't know. I just don't understand how it's going to be sustainable in the long run. I really don't. Like with something like Tresemme specifically, like who's buying Tresemme if not for the fact that it's cheap? That's why I bought it. That's why my parents bought it, because it was the cheap shampoo that you could get everywhere. It was the brand of cheap shampoo you could get at the fucking dollar store or Dollar General or whatever. It's always there for cheap. That was the point of it, but now it's not. So what is the point of the product now? Because you ain't got quality. Tresemme is fucking garbage. So what do you got? You have no value, and you don't have quality product either. It's nothing. You have nothing. So yeah, thanks Tresemme. Frosted Flakes went from 13 to 12, now down to 10.9, which is pretty horrible. You can see here right next to each other, 12 ounces, 10.9 ounces. For whatever size this is, you got mega size down here. Could be family size. I don't know, because all that shit is meaningless apparently. I mean, we knew that they were meaningless before, but they're even more meaningless now with mega size, family size. They post new shit all the time. It used to be just there's regular and family size. Now they have a million different, verbiages to use to explain how their size, the product size is better when it's actually not. It's the opposite. But they put mega size in big red letters, so it seems like it's mega. Now here's another response from Kraft Heinz. Another response. I'm assuming this is the same as the other case, because this response is so insultingly straightforward that I know it's got to be copy and pasted. I mean, it's just some customer service guy probably copy and pasted this specific answer, but it's not a good answer to give to customers. I don't know who's in charge of the customer service department. As I said, I know that when things get down to that level, nobody really cares, but this is pretty bad. I mean, you got the money. You should fucking pay some people to work in the customer service department to at least give customer service and not this response. Thanks for reaching out to us. We change our packaging in an effort to bring quality products to our consumers at the most affordable price. We all know, this is the part that pisses me off. We all know that prices are increasing on everything from gasoline and corn to automobiles and houses. As costs go up, companies often find that they must raise prices to maintain high quality. The alternative to raising the price of any given product is to offer the product in a slightly smaller size. When we reduce the size of a product, it allows us to offer the product to our consumer at the best affordable price point. We appreciate you sharing your concerns with us, and will forward your comments to the appropriate staff. That's a lie. It is our goal to continue to offer a variety of high-quality foods at the lowest possible cost to consumers. Another lie. If you haven't already done so, please add our site to your favorites and visit us again soon. That's possibly the most insane thing of this whole statement, is add your website to our favorites. Who the fuck is going to the Kraft website at all? The only reason anybody is going to that website is to look for the option to write a complaint, I feel like, or they're looking for like nutrition facts maybe. I don't know what other reason you would ever go to the Kraft Heinz website. Why would you favorite it? It's not a site that you really need to interact with on a daily basis, but okay. Still, the line coming from a company, now regardless of whether or not my made-up scenario of this customer service employee is true or not, whether this is the fucking CEO of Kraft Heinz or, the lowest employee, subcontractor who's, writing messages back and forth, you should not write the sentence, "We all know that prices are increasing on everything from gasoline to corn to automobiles," in your response to somebody complaining about your product being shrunk. It's so obvious that you should not come back. It feels passive aggressive. That's what this feels like. Like the response doesn't feel like it's really customer service. It feels like it's customer agitation. It feels like it was written purposely to piss people off by being so like high and mighty. Like, who are you as Kraft Heinz as a company to try to level with me and say, oh, costs go up, so we had to raise the price, obviously. Come on. You get it. That's basically what this kind of sounds like. It sounds like they're trying to, you get it, right? It's business, blah blah blah. Little people, fuck you. That's what it sounds like. That's an eloquently worded variation of we're providing less for more. So yeah, this is funny. Quality ingredients, affordable price, blah blah blah. I encourage everyone to email them and complain. I do agree with that. 99% chance your response is going to be probably either the same or very similar, because most of the responses you're going to get are just straight up from the book of responses. That's how it works at these large corporations. But maybe somebody will notice eventually if there's enough complaints. That's where it gets. That's where the rubber hits the road, so to speak, because Kraft Heinz gets complaints all the time. They probably get hundreds, I don't know, thousands a day. But if they saw a substantial increase for one specific product or for a specific line of products from people, maybe there would actually be a response. But as it is, the pot shot method, all that's going to get you is these passive aggressive responses and maybe some coupons, which is good. So you should do it. I mean, I definitely recommend it. If something's wrong, you should complain loudly. Complain on fucking Twitter. Complain on whatever. Reddit. Complain everywhere you can. Complain in person. That's something you should do. You should loudly make your complaints known, and put the companies on blast, like Kraft Heinz, for doing this bullshit. So let's move on from that. We're almost done with our 30-minute This Week in Shrinkflation. This one is just kind of for a laugh. I don't know how much this weighs. He didn't get to weigh it, but it's just sad. These beef spare ribs, you're supposed to get 500 grams. Beef spare ribs, 12 euros. I don't know how much that is in American money. I think it's, 16, 17, $18. For that is pretty horrible. And I know ribs are very expensive normally, but this is like the worst rib I've ever seen in my life. Even though the box doesn't look that much bigger, at least on the box they're ribs in the sense that the bone is only poking out one side of the meat. You got meat all the way up to, it's like meat on a stick versus a stick with meat in the center, essentially, and stick being bone. It looks like a full rack on the picture. It looks like it's bone going up to a full rack of ribs, and it's not. It's just hilarious. I don't know how much actual meat you're getting out of this, but it's amazing. And lastly, this is not really a shrinkflation, but I wanted to end on this note. Totino's taste like shit now. Hopefully this is skinflation adjacent, but I feel like they changed Totino pizza rolls over the last year or so. The last time I got them, they were cheap but pretty tasty. At least that's what it tasted like. But the bag I bought last night and ate some today, they were gross, tasted like pure grease. Not trying these again. And you'll see a lot of people agreeing. These things have been getting worse and worse over the years. I agree. Outside of the documented changes to things like Hot Pockets and taquitos and burritos and things like that. Yes, I don't know what's changed in Totino's and I don't know when, but they definitely are not what they used to be, and they're pretty horrible now. It's getting pretty dire out there in the world of frozen kind of snack foods. Like I said, like taquitos and Hot Pockets. There's not many good options there anymore. If you want a Hot Pocket, they're ass now, and all the Hot Pocket competitors are also shit. Taquitos, same thing. All the taquito brands are colluding to be the worst ever. There's nothing there. Corn dogs, same kind of thing. I haven't gotten corn dogs in a while, but you basically got fucking State Farm and the other one, Country Crock or whatever, Country Farms. I don't remember, but they have the monopoly on corn dogs essentially. So they're all trash, and it just sucks. It really sucks how everything is just constantly getting worse, and nobody cares. It would be nice if the company that made Totino's pizza rolls cared about Totino's pizza rolls, and not just the bottom line. But that's just not reality anymore. The ideal runner of a company, when you run a company making frozen foods, ideally your motivation should be to make the best quality frozen food possible. But that's just not the case. Everybody's motivation is just money, plain and simple. And while it's understandable that the motivation is money, it's pretty fucking horrible that that is the situation, and it's just ruining everything actively, and will continue to do so. And on that note, I'll see you all next week for our next iteration.